All right, so we're back for another deep dive into the Sexplorer newsletter.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you recovered from last week.
I'm still processing.
Me too.
Yeah, Marty's story
It was
was
a lot.
a lot to unpack, for sure.
But this week we're looking at something a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Nudist beaches.
Hmm.
Are they about freedom?
Oh.
Or is there like an underlying
Yeah.
sexy?
Is it just about, like, feeling the sun on your skin,
Right.
or is there something else going on?
In the newsletter, even the illustrations are kind of playing with that.
Yeah.
Especially that one drawing.
Oh, my goodness.
Huh? Someone on the art team was having some fun.
Definitely.
But it's not all just fun and games.
No.
Marty actually shares a personal story about his first time at a nudist beach.
Oh, wow.
And then there's a reader submission, too.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we get like two different perspectives.
Yeah, two sides of the same coin.
Exactly.
Look at that.
So Marty's story starts with him feeling super anxious as he's approaching the beach.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Right, like being totally exposed in front of strangers.
That's a vulnerable feeling.
So he picks a spot that's kind of close enough to observe, but still at a safe distance.
Okay, so, like, dipping his toes in.
Yeah, he's not ready to jump in all the way.
Right.
And then he meets Martha and Anna,
Oh.
and they're just totally comfortable being naked.
Like it's no big deal.
Exactly, like they're just chatting sunbathing.
Just another day at the beach.
But then he finds out there's a whole second beach.
What? Uh-huh.
Like a secret beach?
Yeah, it's like hidden away and there are even more people there.
Oh, wow.
He even calls himself a rookie.
Oh.
I love that because it's like he's entering a whole new world.
It's like there's a whole set of rules that he doesn't know yet.
Yeah, like a secret society.
Exactly, so he's like learning the ropes of this new world. And then there's this scene with a parasol.
Oh.
He's helping Martha and Anna set it up, and he's completely naked.
Right.
But then suddenly he gets self-conscious and grabs his shorts.
Like out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like his instincts kick in.
Yeah. It's interesting how even in an environment where everyone's naked, he still feels that urge to cover up.
It makes you wonder how much of that is just ingrained in us.
Right. Like, is it nature or nurture?
Totally. And then it gets even more interesting because Martha and Anna, they notice,
Uh-huh.
and their gaze kind of lingers on him.
Oh, things are getting a little steamy.
And Marty starts to feel his body responding.
I bet.
Yeah, like he's getting aroused.
So is it the sun or the situation or their attention?
Right, like what's causing it?
It's hard to say.
And then Martha smiles at Anna like they're sharing a secret.
Oh, they know what they're doing.
It's like they're aware of the effect they're having on him.
Playing with his nerves a little.
And then Marty starts looking at them more closely,
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah, like noticing details about their bodies.
I wonder if he's imagining what it would be like.
And he even wonders if they might be aroused, too.
Whoa.
Which brings us back to that question of, is a nudist beach inherently sexual?
Right, like is it just the context or is there something more to it?
It's a good question. And before we get too deep into that, let's hear from that reader who wrote in.
Oh, yeah, the one with their own nudist beach story.
This one's totally different.
Okay.
This reader is all about the sensual experience.
Like embracing the pleasure.
Exactly. They describe feeling aroused by the eyes of others.
So it's like a turn on for them.
And then they find this secluded spot as the beach starts to empty out.
Ooh. Getting a little private time.
Yeah, it's like setting the stage.
For something special.
And they really get into the details of the experience.
Like what kind of details?
The feel of the sand,
Yeah.
the breeze, the sounds of the waves.
Oh, wow. Painting a picture?
It's like they're using the environment to heighten the pleasure.
Yeah, like the beach is part of the experience.
And they describe it all with this sense of freedom and ownership.
I like that.
It's really powerful.
So we have Marty's story, which is all about anxiety, and then this reader who's completely embracing the sensual side.
Two totally different experiences.
But both valid in their own way.
It shows how multifaceted nudist beaches can be.
Definitely. And the newsletter even includes a link to a nudist beach etiquette video.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice touch.
Like a little guide for newbies.
Exactly, because even in a place where anything goes, there are still some unspoken rules.
Right. You don't want to be the one breaking those rules.
And speaking of pushing boundaries, let's talk about that illustration we mentioned earlier.
The one that's a little bit cheeky.
Yeah, the one with the very detailed anatomy.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's more than just humor, though.
What do you mean?
It's like they're trying to provoke a reaction.
Make us think about why we might feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
I see what they're doing.
It's clever. Very clever.
And it makes you think about all those assumptions we have about nudity and bodies.
Right, like what's okay to show and what's not.
And why we feel that way.
Yeah, like where did those ideas come from?
So after all these stories and illustrations, What would you say is the biggest takeaway about nudist beaches?
Well, I think it's that they're more than just places to take your clothes off.
But
It's like they're microcosms of our society. All our anxieties about bodies and
it's
sex.
all there on display.
Yeah, you strip away the clothes and you see what's really going on.
Like a social experiment.
Exactly.
So it can be liberating, but also really confronting.
Yeah, like we saw with Marty and the reader.
Two very different reactions.
Right.
It's not a one-size-fits-all experience,
Definitely not.
but that's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah, it makes you think about your own boundaries.
Maybe even push them a little.
And who knows, maybe some of our listeners are feeling inspired to try it out themselves.
If you are, I highly recommend checking out the Sexplorer newsletter.
Yes, lots of great content about sex and relationships.
And it's always thought-provoking and fun.
You can sign up at www.thesexplorer.com.
For more explorations.
Until then, happy exploring.